Africa has nearly 30% of the world's mineral reserves. It also holds massive oil and rare earth deposits, and it will house 1 in 4 people by 2050. That changes everything about global power. This is not old-school colonialism again. It's a new, quieter scramble for influence. Not cannon fire, but cash and contracts. Not colonies, but ports, pipelines, and data cables. 2 superpowers are racing across the continent. On one side, Beijing, building at speed. On the other, Washington, pushing institutions and security. Both claim partnership and mutual benefit. Both pursue their own strategic interests clearly. So what's really happening on the ground? Why does Africa matter so urgently now? Because the future depends on minerals buried here. Batteries, chips, and defense systems need these supplies, because markets and demographics are shifting too. Young populations mean consumers, workers, and voters. Who secures those links shapes tomorrow's global order. Let's start with China's approach. Beijing sells a simple, effective offer. Build first, ask fewer questions later. Roads, rails, but ports and power stations follow. Contracts often come with Chinese banks attached. Projects appear quickly and visibly to voters. That speed became Beijing's biggest advantage. Many African leaders welcomed fast and tangible change. But there is a complicated price tag. Loans balloon in downturns, repayments constrain budgets. Some projects imported Chinese labor, not local workers. Critics say raw materials flow outward, value-added leaves. And Beijing's non-interference policy reshapes political incentives. It rewards leaders who resist external pressure on rights. That makes some governments more comfortable working with China. Others fear dependence on a single external patron. Now look at America's playbook. Washington leans on security and institutional ties. Military cooperation expanded after the terror attacks. Bases, training, and intelligence partnerships grew across regions. At the same time, soft power stayed central. American universities, tech firms, and aid still resonate. Programs like PEPFAR changed millions of lives. Silicon Valley inspired a generation of entrepreneurs. The US pushes governance, anti-corruption, and markets. That model aims for long-term stability via systems, but it's not without serious flaws. Critics say Washington often favors security over development. Historic interventions sometimes supported autocrats during geopolitical rivalry. Economic prescriptions from Western institutions sometimes hurt local industries. Results were uneven and often politically fraught. So who is actually helping Africa most? The honest answer is, it's complicated. China builds visible infrastructure very quickly. America invests in institutions, people, and technology. One gives concrete tomorrow, the other nurtures systems. Both offer real benefits and real risks. But here's the key point many miss. African leaders are not passive players in this struggle. They negotiate, choose, and sometimes exploit both sides. Some sign bad deals and pay the price. Others leverage competition to secure better terms. And a growing number of African entrepreneurs thrive. Cities are changing. Factories are slowly rising. Young Africans are demanding better futures and opportunities. So the ultimate balance depends on African agency. What does the coming decade look like? Expect the competition to intensify and diversify. China will deepen supply chain links and ports. The US will push tech, finance, and security ties. New players will also enter the race. India, the EU, and Gulf states already are involved. Digital infrastructure and AI will become central battlegrounds. Control of minerals will map directly to tech leadership. Military access and naval presence will matter more, but the most important actor remains African nations themselves. They can demand better deals, invest in local value chains, and govern smarter. They can diversify partners and insist on transparency. If they do, the world will finally have to follow. If they don't, old patterns could easily return. So the real question is not who wins. The real question, can Africa control its own destiny? This contest will shape decades, not just years. New alliances, new trade routes, new tensions will form. Stay skeptical of easy answers and flashy headlines. Look instead at deals, debt, and who builds local capacity. If you want deeper analysis on these shifts, subscribe. We'll unpack strategy, winners, and the hidden costs. Because the next global realignment is already underway, and it will affect everyone on this planet. Africa has nearly 30% of the world's mineral reserves. It also holds massive oil and rare earth deposits, and it will house 1 in 4 people by 2050. That changes everything about global power. This is not old-school colonialism again. It's a new, quieter scramble for influence.